Hello everyone, welcome back. As you'll see, we're on some familiar territory today. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of work on, so I've only got time for a short ride. But a short ride is better than no ride, eh? As some of you no doubt noted, I had a day off yesterday. Well, almost a day off. I managed to plough my way through over 200 comments. And I've still got a few more to do, so if I haven't answered your comment yet, bear with me. Hopefully I'll get to the rest of them later today. Look at that, look, all that blossom's gone off of that tree that was there last week. Completely empty. The season's moving on. Anyway, as well as a bit of general chit chat, today I'm going to talk about who I follow on YouTube. Back in a minute. So a couple of days ago I tried a new concept to my channel, and that was the ride along or trike along video. No commentary from me, just the music. And I'd just like to say thank you all very much for the positive feedback that I had on that tour. One, it was all very positive, and you've all been very helpful letting me know how you could view it on your different screens and what you thought of the quality. And it's that sort of feedback that's going to help me develop that concept for future videos. I think worthy of note was generally most people felt that 4K probably wasn't worth it. There's not enough people out there with 4K equipment to view it. And it was picked up by several people that actually moving footage through a 4K camera probably doesn't appear much better than 1080p in any case. So based on that, I think my next effort at a ride along, it's going to be shot in 1080p on the same camera, because I think the stabilisation is what makes it, to be honest. But as I say, don't expect those every time I go out on the trike. It's just something a little additional extra if I'm in a particularly pretty place. But once again, as I say, thanks very much for all the feedback. I use all the feedback on my channel all the time, so keep it coming. Thank you. So several people have been asking me about these boats that we see moored up all the way along the canal and along the river here. I'd say probably 95% of them, certainly the nearer we get to London, the higher percentage of them are actually liverboards. People live on them 365 days a year. Lovely at this time of the year, but I don't know whether I'd fancy it in the winter. But the purpose of that is because property prices are so high in London that very few people can afford them, so they see that as a cheaper form of accommodation and yet still have a London address and don't have to do the commute from further afield. So the boats are predominantly canal barges, such as all these that you can see in the shop now. They're all canal barges of different lengths and widths. But also down here we've seen over the last week some disused life rafts from ships and some leisure craft day boats like this one now coming up. But again, most of them have been converted into liveaboards, or semi-converted in some cases. And of course, as with most things in life these days, there are rules and regulations around these boats. Some of these boat owners adhere to them, others choose not to. So each of the boats is supposed to be licensed to the Canals and Rivers Trust, which is like a yearly license. They're also supposed to pay mooring fees. Some places along here are free if they stay for, I think it's up to 48 hours, and then they have to move along. And of course, as a liveaboard, they're supposed to pay council tax to the local authority. And as you can imagine, local authorities would have a pretty little job trying to find out whether it's a liveaboard or not. Indeed, whether they're even licensed or not, most of the time. But there we go, horses for courses. It's not a way I would choose to live. Lovely at this time of year, I'm sure, but not so much in the winter. And then of course, the further you get away from London, the cheaper the housing costs are, the less of the boats are liveaboards and they become day boats and pleasure craft. Some of them are for rent. You can rent them for a holiday week or 2 weeks. Under normal circumstances, of course, at the moment you wouldn't. A friend of mine owns one about 20 miles north of here. And a couple of years ago I spent a week on board with him, moving it from the north of England down to where he's got it moored now. And a very nice week that was too. Much of the time he went off to work and left me on the boat all day, chugging along. I think an average day we would manage about 5 to 7 miles, going through locks and just mucking around on the river. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A little bit less wind today, it's quite nice. You can probably still hear it a little bit, but it's actually a nice cool breeze in my face because it's quite warm today. I think it's about 17-18 degrees. What's that, mid-60s Fahrenheit something? Yeah, quite a pleasant day. And as you can see, not many people on the canal today, which is always good. I did wonder when I first came down to the canal this morning, there was a few people back at Walthamstow, but now I'm a bit further north, it's not too bad. So the topics keep rolling in on the comments, that's good. My list is ever growing at the moment. It was shrinking last week, but yeah, I've got at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks of rides planned out now, so yeah, it's all looking rosy. As always, thank you everyone for giving me some ideas and things to chit chat about as we're going along. Oh, and whilst I remember, if I come out with some strange English words that people from foreign climes don't understand, just ask in the comments. What was the one the other day? Chuffed. Yeah, chuffed. If I'm chuffed, that means I'm happy. If I'm not chuffed, that means I'm not happy at all. To be not chuffed is to be thoroughly ticked off. But yeah, I can't remember who it was, sorry. But you can't be chuff. You can't be a little chuff. Well, there is a bird called a chuff, but it's spelt differently as far as I'm aware. But as a human being, you can't be a little chuff. That did make me smile. But yeah, if I come out with any little wonders like that, just let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to explain them. So anyhow, I'm babbling on and we've got a topic to talk about today, haven't we? Right, here goes then. So who do I follow on YouTube? Well, to be honest, I have over 180 different people that I follow on YouTube at the moment, and because of that number, obviously I don't get around to watching all of their videos all of the time. I have to share it around a little bit because I haven't got endless hours to sit and watch YouTube. But I thought I'd just note some of the exceptional ones that I do follow, and ones that have had an influence on my life, and the ones that I really enjoy. So first and foremost out of that group, the biggest influencer in my cycle touring life would have to be Darren Alf, the bicycle touring pro. So I started following Darren on YouTube maybe 7-8 years ago possibly. This was whilst I was still riding an up-wrong, obviously. And I found Darren's lifestyle to be really intriguing. The way a young man, I think he started cycling when he was 17. And from what I can make out, he's never done a day's work in his life. Sorry Darren if you ever see this. But no, I'm sure he works, but he doesn't do what you and I would consider a day job. His day job is his business as the bicycle touring pro, so good on him. But yeah, I followed Darren because I really loved what he was doing, cycling to all these places across Europe and North America and other places around the world. And he just really knows how to put a good story together. And much of what I do today on my vlogs has been influenced by Darren. You go and have a look at his channel if you haven't seen it before. Go and have a look and see what Darren produces, particularly some of his European tours, and you'll understand what I'm getting at and where I got my ideas from. Now, apart from Darren in the cycling world, I prefer my channels that I watch to be down to earth, a bit like myself, just casual rider sort of channels I'm not referring to like the Global Cycling Network, the racers, the guys on the fast racing bikes and things like that. They don't really interest me. I do watch Global Cycling Network for maintenance. They do some really good maintenance videos, but no, I don't watch them for their riding videos or technique and things like that. And again, in the triking world as well, I like the easygoing, laid-back trikers out there. Sylvia comes to mind, and her ongoing adventures with Myrtle. Yeah, I like watching Sylvia's videos, they're really good. But obviously I do other things other than just riding a trike. And of particular interest to me, I mean, I manage to do it sometimes on the trike, but it's the camping and the outdoors. And another interest of mine, and a guy that I've been following probably for about the same length of time as I've followed Darren throughout the last 8-9 years, is Joe Robinette. And Joe does outdoors bushcraft and trekking out into the wilds of Canada. And there's one or two other guys around Joe as well that I follow. He's got some mates that he goes out with, and I follow those quite closely. But yeah, the outdoors woodsman bushcraft kind of YouTubers, I do like those quite a lot. I watch quite a lot of those. But Joe Robinette is a master of making bushcrafting videos and outdoor trekking videos. I really like his laid-back style, and his work with the camera is fantastic. But also on my YouTube account, I have loads and loads of subscriptions to the smaller channels. I do find that I like to support people who are just starting out on YouTube. It wasn't so long ago I was there myself, trying to scratch together 40 or 50 people to watch my videos when I first started out on YouTube. It's incredibly difficult to get people to watch your videos, because YouTube, the way it works is your videos just don't get advertised or suggested down that column on the right hand side. And on that note, I also like following people who also support other channels, and one such is Gary Solomon and the Laid Back Bike Report. His channel's fantastic, it's such a good resource, and Gary's connections with people in the recumbent bike and trike industry are so good that, I mean, he's always got somebody from the industry on his channel. And obviously the information that those people can pass on, I mean, that's first-hand industry knowledge of upcoming events and upgrades to recumbent trikes all across the world. So yeah, Gary is a mine of information. Well worth subscribing to that one. And I try not to miss an episode, I really do. Although it's not always easy when I'm out there doing this every day. At the moment I usually find myself editing, and then I'll get a notification pop up that I've just missed it. Anybody else notice that on YouTube as well? Even though you're subscribed and you click that notification bell, you very often don't get the notification until, oh, it could be hours after the video was posted. Now obviously my wife's subscribed to my channel, and she still has yet to get a notification. She never gets notified of me posting a video at all. And I've checked all her settings. I don't know. But yeah, that always happens with me. I'll get a notification for Gary's live Laid Back Bike Report about an hour after he's finished broadcasting. Most annoying. So this area that I'm cycling around at the moment is called Gunpowder Park. It's got quite a history around it, but I'm going to save that for another video. We will be coming back here at some point in the next week because it forms part of another video that I've got planned. But it's a very new park, you can tell by the size of all the trees that they've planted. They're all about the same size. They're only about 10-20 feet high at the highest. And another outdoorsy bushcraft like channel that I watch on YouTube, before I forget, is the Outdoor Gear Review. And to be fair, I think most people who enjoy the outdoors, be it on a trike or bike, under canvas or just in the woods with an axe, would enjoy the Outdoor Gear Review. Luke runs a channel there where he literally does like what it says on the tin. He reviews outdoor gear and does it several times a week, and has always got something new to look at. He's not so much into his electronics. He does occasionally have a piece of electronics equipment on there, but he's more about your usual camping gear, bushcraft gear, torches, knives, tents, that sort of thing. Yeah, I really like watching that channel as well. So that's enough of Gunpowder Park. Let's go back towards the canal. So I'm going to make my way back along the canal to home now. On my way back, I'll take some of the usual pretty pictures just to finish this video off. But before I go, I just remembered about the Tim's Trike. Oh, can't even say it. But before I go, I just remembered about the Tim's Trike Trip mugs that people have been asking for. I had half a dozen in my shed, and I think most of those 6 have now been claimed. I certainly have emails from at least 6 people who've said that they might like one. If anybody else would like one, please just let me know, and as soon as I've got enough people interested for a minimum order, which I think is 10, then I'll contact you back and let you know that I've got some and how you can purchase one. But yeah, just let me know. And just so you're all aware out there, I still work for a living. I have no need to make money out of YouTube selling mugs. I'll be selling them at cost. Whatever they cost me is exactly what they'll cost you guys out there. I think currently they're costing me about £5.50, £6 each, something like that. And then obviously shipping to wherever you are in the world added to that. Thank you. As for payment, I think PayPal is probably going to be the easiest. So if you have a PayPal account, let me know the email address of that as well, and I'll send you through an invoice. Right, that's it for today then, guys. I'll leave you with some pretty pictures as always, and I'll be back tomorrow with some more. Cheers then. Ta-da.